Then we can generate good intention by thinking, may our coming here together become cause and conditions to actualize and cultivate three principal aspects of the path. And may it become cause and conditions to achieve fully enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. Okay. To the founder, the endowed, unstandard destroyer, the one gone beyond, the four destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, to guide the knowledge of the world, supreme guide of human beings, be tame, teacher of God, human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, unstandard destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clean, I prostrate, make offering and go for refuge. To the founder, the endowed, unstandard destroyer, the one gone beyond, the four destroyer, completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge, and it good conduct to God and all of the world, supreme God of human beings, to become teacher of God and human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed transcendent is the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shayak, I prostrate, make offering, go for it. To the founder, the endowed transcendent is the one gone beyond, the four destroyer, the completely perfect, the fully awakened being, perfect in the knowledge, in the good conduct, to God and all of the world, supreme God of human beings, to become teacher of God and human beings, to you, the completely fully awakened one. The endowed transcendent is the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shayak, I prostrate, make offering, and go. 사시베게 존심에도 다베라레제 닌데겐반데 상계신도 미데오와이 묘근 너마다신 제발요 예당 그러나 메달라가니야타야미. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merits I create to listen to the Dhamma, may I become Buddha in order to benefit all sentient. Sangye Chodan Soge Sonam Na Bhatutane Kapsuch. Dagi Choshegi Besonam Dola Penje Sangye Duba Sangye Chodan Soge Sonam Chanju Bhatutane Dagi Choshegi Besonam Dola Penje Sangye Duba. So again, welcome and thank you for joining today. And so again, I just wanted to kind of summarize a little bit from the last week, because I think contents, because I think last week, without going much detail, I kind of touched too many things, and then because then it get more confusions for some of the students, and so I think maybe I just wanted to just summarize briefly on the main point from the last week. Yeah, again, is the 4 point. So it is the 4 point of analysis. So that you find in all the lumbrums. So that was it. Yeah. So last week we talked about dependent arisings, and again we talk about a different school of thoughts, Buddhist school of thought. But I think I just want to emphasize on the Prasangika point of view, because that is the kind of the most subtle and the ultimate view, the view of the Nagarjuna. And so, if we look from, because I wanted to, again, make a little more simplify. And so when we talk about dependent arising, let's take as a self, the person is dependent arisings. Not only the persons, but the basis of the person, the aggregate, our own body is also dependent arisings. And our mind, our feeling, our emotions, that is what our body and mind, which make us, or which identify us, also those are dependent arisings. And all other conditions, phenomena surrounding us are dependent arising. And they are dependent arising because all of them depend on its preceding cause and conditions. Okay? All of them have preceding cause and condition that give rise to all these different objects. If it's the self, then, it's because our parent that give rise to us, our bodies. And then our previous karma and mind that give rise to our other aggregates. So that is those preceding and many other supporting conditions that support that primary cause is the death. And so then, in terms of our body, and the same thing, the body, is made of our parents, is caused by our parents' sperm and eggs. It's supported by many other energies, many other element energies, conditions. And if it's our mind, is caused by our previous preceding mind. And again, that has been supported by other conditions. So that is all of our present self and our body, our mind, which are the basis of the self. They all are dependent arising because they all depend on its preceding cause and conditions. Not only that, all of them, our self, our body, our mind, and all other condition phenomena, they all are dependent arising because all of them not only depends on it preceding cause, and they depends on its parts to make the whole. In terms of the persons, then we are dependent on our aggregate. If we take away our aggregates, then there is no more self. So that is the part of the persons, is the basis, the aggregate, the collection of the aggregates that depend on the person, depend on that aggregates. Without that aggregates, then and then our body also depends on all different parts of the body. Our head, our legs, our torso, upper part, lower part, our hands, all and the organs and so forth. Without those parts, there's no body. So the body is dependent on. If you take away all these parts, then there's no more body, and so the body is dependent on its parts. And same with your mind. Your mind, is made out of many different mental state and different primary mind. If you take each of individual primary mind, individual mental factors, then you cannot pinpoint and say this is the mind. So it depends on that. And even within the individual, those mental factors and mind, they are also made out of, is parts. That is the continuity, there is a continuum of that, and that continuum has many parts. And so if you take each of the parts of those continuum, then there is no particular mind or mental factors. So therefore, they are dependent on that. So that is same with all other conditioned phenomena. They all depend on its parts. There are many parts. Each of objects has their own parts, whether it's physical, whether it's a physical matter or whether it's non-physical matter, such as consciousness, still they have their own parts. And so they are dependent on its parts. Then if you go further, therefore, because they depend on its parts to make whatever the object it is, it is that object only on the basis of coming together of those parts, the collection of the parts. If you take away each of the part, then there is no that objects, that phenomena, and so therefore is dependent arising. And then if you go further, so-called the persons or I, Gishishara, is dependent arising because on the basis of my aggregate coming together, or the collections of my aggregate together, on the basis of that, then the consciousness, the mind, impute or label as me or self or persons or as a Gishishara, and that is depending on the mind, the thoughts, that label as a Gishishara on the basis of my aggregates coming together or on the basis of the collections of my aggregates. Even my aggregates, even my collection of aggregates are there, but if there is no mind that label or impute as a Gishishara, then there is no Gishishara. Before I graduated, before I graduated as a Geshe, I'm the same person, but when I think of myself, I don't feel I'm Geshe, Gishishara. I only think a Tupten Sharab, a monk Tupten Sharab, or student Tupten Sharab. When other people see me, they don't see me as Gishishara. They see me as a Tupten Sharab, the monk, Tupten Sharab, the students. But the moment after I graduated and then I was given these titles or label as a Gishishara, from that very moment, then I become Gishishara. From that moment, when I think of myself, then there is an appearance of Gishishara. And when people see me, then there's a Gishishara. And so, so the Gishishara is, is on the basis of my aggregate, on the basis of my educations, all these different factors, condition coming together due to the collection of all these condition and factor together, and then you are giving title or label. Title is just a label. You are just giving a label, new label, that is as a Gishishara, as a Geshe, and then from that on, that is how Gishishara exists, by depending as a Gishishara. But the problem with us is, when there's appearance of Gishishara, either for myself or to all of you, when there's appearance, we all forget that Gishishara is just a label, just a title, just a label given by someone. There is an appearance that there is a Gishishara appearing as a Gishishara by itself. And then we really cling and grasp as it is Gishishara from its own side as a Gishishara. And that is the fundamental ignorance, the problem with that. such as the label that was given, such as its parts, such as its cause and conditions. This sense of independent Geshe by itself. And there's appearance, and we cling and we grasp on that way. On the basis of that, then, either you get attached to it or whether you have aversion to it. Hopefully, maybe you all are more attached than aversions. Okay, to Geshe. Okay, I would rather have you be attached to me than being an aversion to me. Okay, I hope that was the case. Even being attached is a problem to you, but it is good for me than being aversion to me. So that will be bad for you, but it will be nice for me. So I think I should go for something which is better for me than better for you. So maybe you should be more attached. Just joking, apart. So then on the basis of that, then either we get attached or whether we have aversions, or whether we have ignorance, cultivation of more ignorance. So that is how then delusion arises, and then we get we end in suffering, problems, and so on. And that is same. So we can talk about Geshe, but even not only Geshe, before Geshe, there was Thupten Sherab, the monk. Even that is giving just a title. Even that's a merely label. And before the monk, Thupten Sherab, who is that? Then there's Dao Phuntsok, my home. Everyone calls me Dao Phuntsok when they see me Dao Phuntsok. Even that is merely label. Even that is merely label. And before that, before I was given the name Dao Phuntsok by my grandfather, there was a newly born young baby, so-called baby. Even the baby is merely label. The concept of baby, the child, even there's merely label on the basis of the aggregate coming together, collection aggregate, then the moment the parent say, oh, this is my child, is my baby, they label that. And then everyone also label, oh, this is his child, that is his baby, her baby. So, and you can go back and further, and all, also that is merely label, and then that is how, and not only in terms of the persons, not only with the persons or the self, that is same with our body and our mind. So all of them and all conditions, all phenomena are merely labels. So therefore, they all are dependent arising because they are dependent on the label designation that's given by thought, the mind, the concept, But the problem with us is whenever those objects appear to us, whatever object, those internal, external objects, there's appearance of that object appearing as independently by itself without depending on all other different factors we just described. It doesn't appear that object exists on the base, object exists merely labeled as that object on the basis of its parts and other bases coming together. And so that is the problems, So that is a little bit, I think, more or less, I kind of summarizing about dependent arising, which we kind of discussed last week a little bit and kind of went in many directions about different reasoning and logics that you find in a mind, the Madhyamaka schools. And so I think maybe just to summarize and keep it more kind of more contents and to closer to the verse itself here, you know. And I think last week we finished the verse number 10, showing the right view. And I think, yeah. And again, as we, in the verse, it says, you know, while you see, you know, unbetrayal and the functioning of law of cause and effect, okay, within the samsara, within the nirvana, you know, due to certain cause and conditions, then there is attaining or achieving the nirvana. Due to certain cause and conditions, we are caught in the samsara and experiencing the suffering. There is all this happen because of law of cause and effect. Due to certain cause and conditions, either it lead into samsara or either it lead to the nirvana. The reason why one can achieve nirvana is because of certain law of cause and effect. If you create particular cause and condition, then you can achieve that. The reason why we end up in samsara and experience samsara is because due to certain cause and conditions. If you engage in certain cause and condition, then that cause and condition would lead you to a certain result, that is being samsara and suffering of the samsara. That is unbetrayal. That is the truth. Okay? While understanding and seeing that truth, while you understand and see that truth, at the same time, you are, when you are able to see the non-existence of inherently or independent existence that is grasped or perceived by the ignorance. What ignorance perceives, the object is inherently or independent existence. So while you see the unfallible, the truth of law of cause and effect, at the same time, you are able to see non-existence of the object that is perceived by that ignorance. When you are able to see that, then while you see that law of cause and effect, then that is when you have entered the path pleasing the Buddha. That is when you have entered the path. That is the path that you enter the path, realizing the right view. Okay, so I think that's the verse with that verse. Okay, are we clear? Are we clear on that? Yeah. Any confusions? Any doubt? Any cautions? Is this clear, Bill? Today? Not clear? So what was the things that it was not clear? No, you have to unmute.
I don't know. Same as last time.
Same as last time?
As last time, yes.
So
yeah, I think you clarified dependent arising pretty well there when using yourself as an example. That was good. And I don't know. I'm hoping little by little. Well,
but did you get dependent arising not only the self but the body, the mind?
yes. Yeah.
All other conditions. So
Yeah. All of it. Everything. Yeah.
okay. And so So then what was the way you couldn't get it?
I don't know. I mean,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
It's-
So then you contemplate and you think about it, and then
May-
again, you
May
can
I
always.
ask,
Yes, please.
turning it over to the wisdom of emptiness,
Mhm.
dependent arising, and there's that moment when you're thinking of that and your mind wants to go over to the wisdom of emptiness. And that, you said it last week and you're saying it again today, but that's where I get stuck.
Okay, maybe explain this way. When you talk about emptiness, okay? I'm trying to put the way I put is slightly different than normally I will put. The way I put is the empty of the object that is perceived by the ignorance, because that is where it is. In this verse, that is what it comes. And for whom any object trusted in by the grasping mind, that has completely disappeared. So that is the meaning of that. So I'm trying to kind of explain the meaning of that, so the empty of any object trusted by the grasping mind, that is the ignorance. The grasping mind is the ignorance. Disappearing here means empty of that. The empty of the object of grasping mind. What is the object of the grasping mind? That is inherently existing, independently existing objects. That is what the grasping mind or the ignorance grabs or perceives. Okay? So it is saying, basically, if you don't take that word itself, verse itself, what it is saying is, when you understand, while you see the dependent arisings, therefore you see the law of cause and effect, the functioning of law of cause and effect. While you see that, at the same time, you see there's no independent existence, there's no inherently existing that object that you see as a dependent arising is empty of inherently or truly existence. When you understand that, that is when you understood the emptiness, the right view. Because the self is dependent arising, therefore the self is empty of inherent existence. Therefore the self is empty of independent existence. Therefore there is no inherently existing, no independent existing self. Therefore the self is empty. Empty. Why? Because it's empty of inherent existence, it's empty of inherent existence. So basically that is what it is. Did that clear a little bit or not? I'm not sure. Patty, did it unmute?
Yes, Geshe-la, that was very helpful. Thank you.
And for Bill, was that?
I'm still confused, but it makes a little bit of sense. Yes. A little bit.
Okay. Maybe little by little.
Yeah.
Maybe we shouldn't understand everything. Then maybe you wouldn't
I'm
come,
hoping.
you wouldn't feel like coming to class next time. Because I understood everything.
Oh yeah. Or I give up. Oh, yeah. Well,
Thank you, Geshe-la. We'll keep coming back.
No, I'm just joking.
I'm hoping that some part of me understands better than I think I do. Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes, like everything, sometimes we understand, maybe we don't know how to put in the right way.
Mhm.
It's just like sometimes we have questions, but we don't know how to put in the right words.
Oh, no, I don't know what questions to ask.
And so, yeah, that is what I'm saying, you know, and same way, sometimes we have certain understanding or better understanding, but sometimes we don't know how to put it. And sometimes when we cannot put it in the right way, then we feel like we didn't understood, but maybe there is. So anyway, so maybe again, and sometimes we just have to give more time to contemplate, reflect, you know, and especially if you're taking a notes, or you can listen again
Mhm.
and take time to, sometimes you need more time to observe, digest, contemplate on that before you started to have a little bit, because yeah, sometimes we cannot kind of think or digest everything immediately. And so anyway, yeah,
All righty. Thank you.
yeah, most welcome. Yeah. And then the next one, 11, you know, the definition of not having completed the analysis of right views, you know. So there is, you know, if the appearance of dependent relation, you know, which is unbetraying, you know, is accepted separate from the emptiness. And as long as they are seen as separate, then one has still not realized the Buddha's intent, you know. So again, if you understand emptiness separately from the functioning of law of cause and effect, the appearance, as those two things as being as separate, you know, you understand there is the appearance, that is the arbitrary functioning of law of cause and effect. You understand that. And you also understand there's no inherent or independent arising emptiness. But if you see those two things as two different separate things, then you haven't still understood the Buddha's intended view or right view of the Buddhas. Because you are seeing both of them, but you are seeing them as a separate, you know, as a dependent arising in certain other objects, and emptiness as different another different entity or different object within the different object, where you can't see both of them within the same objects, you know, within the same objects. And so that is when still you have not really, if that is the case, then, you know, still you have not completed the analysis of the right view of the Buddha's intent, you know. And that is the problem with us, you know. That is the problem with us, you know. Sometimes we see all these conditioned phenomena due to certain cause and conditions, then certain result is produced. And we see that. We experience that directly sometimes, certain level, you know. And we all see with our flowers, our plants. You see, you know, you plant the seed, you put water and all other things, and then you see, you know, when the time comes, sprout, the plant, the flower growing. So you see the functioning of cause and effect there. We experience that directly, that kind of functioning of that cause and effect. You know, we experience directly even that. But then when you try to see the emptiness of that flower or that plant you are growing, when you meditate and when you try to see that, then, you know, again, you might be able to come to certain understanding, certain conclusion of that emptiness, but then at the same time, you cannot see the functioning of law of cause and effect, the appearance, because it feels like that, you know, everything's empty. There's nothing, you know. When you meditate on emptiness of that plant, it feels like there's nothing. There's nothing. you know. So you can't see the dependent arisings, the law of cause and effect. And so, you know, so even you see those two things, you see separately, you know, and you can't see both of them within the same objects at the same time. So that is when, you know, and then, you know, the definition have been completed, the analyze of right view, you know. If those two realizations, so the two realizations, emptiness, the realization of emptiness, and the realizations of unbetrayal functioning of law of cause and effect, okay, or dependent arisings, the appearance, dependent arisings, you know. So when you, those two realizations, you know, are happening simultaneously without alternations. Because at the moment when you see the law of cause and effect, you can't see the emptiness. When you see the emptiness, you can't see the law of cause and effect. So it's alternately in that way, you know, you can't see both simultaneously. You know, when you see the emptiness, you can't see the law of cause and effect, dependent arisings, you know, the appearances, the appearance of the object due to many cause and condition coming together and functioning, their individual functionings. So we can't see that. But when you see the functioning of that phenomena, the law of cause and effect of that phenomena, you can't see the emptiness. Because we grasp that law of cause and effect as inherently existence. We already told it seems like inherently existing seed is producing inherently existing plant, isn't it? We see the seed producing the plant, the result, the plant. We see that. So that we see the law of cause and effect, the dependent arising, the appearance, but at the same time, at that moment, we cannot see the emptiness because we are still grasping that seed to be inherent existing, the result, the plant to be inherent existence. Are we clear? Okay, I think maybe Stella didn't get it. When you are planting a seed in your garden, and when you water it, and when it grows, do you see the seed giving rise to that plant? You are seeing the law of cause and effect. But when you see that, do you see the seed as inherently existence? You know, the seed from its own side? Or do you see the seed is merely labeled by the mind? You know? No, I can't. You have to unmute. We didn't hear you.
I know that it's merely labeled, but I don't know if I really understand that.
No.
I mean, I know it's merely labeled, but I don't see the emptiness. I don't understand how I can see dependent arising, but I can't see the emptiness.
So that is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So that is what I'm saying. At that time, you see the dependent arising, but you cannot see the emptiness.
right.
Okay.
Okay.
And then other time when you try to meditate on emptiness, you know, when you try to meditate on emptiness of that plant, maybe we are able to see a little bit, even it is not real realizations, even it's not full realization, but when you are really meditating, contemplating, we are able to see, understand a little bit of that emptiness of that plant. But while we are seeing the emptiness, when you see the emptiness, but we cannot see the functioning of love, we cannot see the dependent arising and love conflict. And so if that happens, then it's alternative. It's not happening simultaneously.
Right. Okay.
So that is what he's saying here, you know. So when you see the emptiness, you are unable to see the dependent arisings. When you see the dependent arising, you are unable to see the emptiness. When that true understanding happens separately or alternately, but not simultaneously, then you have not one have not understood the final intent of the Buddha. But when we see both of them simultaneously, not as alternately, while you see the law of cause and effect, at the same time, you are able to see the emptiness. While you see the emptiness, at the same time, simultaneously, you are able to see the dependent arising. When you see both of them simultaneously, then that is when one have understood that is when
So-
one have understood.
Geshe-la, is that because we're grasping when we see the dependent arising? Is that why we can't see the emptiness? Because
Yeah,
of the
because
grasping?
because of the grasping, yeah, because you are still grasping the seed to be inherent existence and the result to be inherent existence, you know. So that
Okay.
you know, and so yeah. So that is why, where is that? Yeah, that is without alternations. That is what it means, simultaneously without alternations. Okay. At the moment, we see alternatively, not simultaneously. Okay. So if that
Thank
is,
you, Geshe-la.
yeah, it's my pleasure. And from merely, so then here, from merely seeing dependent relation or dependent arising as completely unbetraying. So, you know, you see the dependent arising just by looking, just by seeing the dependent arising of whatever objects. That very moment you see the dependent arising, the definite assertment comes that completely destroy the way of all objects that are apprehended as truly existence. So that is, you know, by merely seeing the dependent arising, that very moment, at the same time, when you are able to see that object empty of inherent existence, or truly existing, or independent existence, you know, at the same time, at that time, the analysis of ultimate view is complete. Okay.
Thank you, Geshe-la.
Yeah. So the very moment you see the dependent arising, at the same time you are able to see emptiness. The moment you see the emptiness, same time you are able to see the dependent arising simultaneously. When that happens, then that is when the analysis of ultimate view is complete.
Yeah, Kelly.
And that is complete, and that is when we have realized the Buddha's ultimate intent correctly, unmistakably. Okay, so that is are we clear on that? And then special quality of prasangika view. Furthermore, appearance eliminate extreme or existent, and emptiness eliminate the extreme or non-existent. So it is normally in other schools, you know, the appearance eliminate the nihilism, you know, that extreme. Okay, appearance eliminate the nihilism, and emptiness eliminate.
Hi, baby. I'm sorry. That was Geshe-la doing a teaching.
The emptiness eliminate the extreme of, so non-existent nihilism. Okay, so what is the other one? Eternalism or what? Cheta, or the sometime I think it might have some permanent. So but here in prasanga is kind of the opposite, you know, and it is the uniqueness of the prasangika views. So that is why it is saying the appearance eliminate extreme. Yeah, so that is extreme of existence. Extreme of existence means grasping the phenomena or the objects or the existence, because it's same, existing phenomena, object, they all mean same. to exist, truly existent, by seeing that truly existent is the extreme of existence. Okay. Normally, in other schools, the emptiness eliminate that. Emptiness eliminate the extreme of existence. Okay. Here, the appearance eliminate extreme of existence. The way it is, because when we say appearance, you know, that means, you know, there is a appearance of the objects due to, you know, other factors, due to other factors. You know, that is the appearance. So when you understand that appearance due to many other factors, that is why appearing, that is why dependent arises. Then, you know that is not independent existence, because you understand is dependent arising. And because you know is dependent arising, therefore is not independent existence, therefore it eliminates the extreme of believing that is independent existence. That is the extreme of existence. The extreme of existence is grasping to exist independently. Okay? The grasping that something is independent existence, that is eliminated by understanding that is dependent arising, that through the appearance. So that is why the emptiness eliminates the extreme of non-existence. In other school, emptiness eliminates the extreme of existence by the emptiness. But here again, you know, emptiness eliminates the extreme of non-existence, because when you understand emptiness, you understand that object is empty of non-inherent existence. Okay? When you understand emptiness, you understand that objects is non-inherent existence, empty of inherent existence. Therefore, you understand that object is non-inherent existence. When you understand that object is non-inherent existence, then you understand is dependent arising. Is existing by dependent on other factors. So you understand dependent arisings. And because you understand dependent arising, then the extreme of non-existence is eliminated. Yeah? Are we clear there? Yeah. And if you realize how emptiness manifests in the manner of cause and effect, then you are not captivated by the wrong notion holding extreme views. So therefore, you know, when you understand and realize emptiness, you know, manifest in the manner of cause and effect, you understand emptiness, meaning of emptiness as a love, as a cause of cause and effect, dependent arising. And also when you understand dependent arising, meaning empty of independent existence, then you will not be captivated by the wrong notion of holding either one of the extreme views. You know, there are two extreme views, and you will not be captivated either one of the extreme view. Instead, you will find the middle way, the middle way, the right, the correct view. You know, and so that is how. Now, so then, you know, having gained definite ascertainments, you know, of the principle of excessive path, you know, renunciation and bodhicitta and the right view, you know, once you have gained definite ascertainment on them through meditation, reflection, contemplations, then advise to pursue the practice. You know, once you have gained certain ascertainment, certain correct understanding, realizations, correct understanding, then you are advised to engage in a deep practice, deep meditations. So in this way, you realize exactly the vital points of three principal aspects of the path, So then through this kind of practice, meditations, first through studying, learning, we have certain level of understanding by hearing the teachings, by reading them, by reading and listening. So that is how we do our studies. Through that, we have certain understanding of three principal aspects of the path. Okay. Then once you have some understanding through your study, learning that, then you have to reflect. You have to reflect on those meanings of what you have heard, what you have read, what you have studied, So it's to refine your understanding. It refine your understanding, Not only you have been informed, but now you are trying to go deeper by your own investigation, analyzing, and reflections on those. And through your own investigation, analysis, and reflections, then you gain more deeper understanding, more profound understanding. You sharpening and you are refining your understanding more, So through that, and then we come to correct or definite ascertainment of what about that subjects that we are studying and reflecting on. But that kind of ascertainment or that kind of understanding is there, but it doesn't come all the time. When we contemplate, when we reflect, you feel a little bit of that, but when you are not reflecting, when you are not contemplating, you don't feel that. One example, one example of that. We all know we are dying. Yeah, we all know we are dying. We will die one day. We all know that. But that feeling does it come every day? Doesn't come. It comes when you think about them. Or someone close to us pass away, then it reminds us of that. Oh, life is fragile and it could come to me, when your friends, families, someone or when you hear news or something like that. But normally, that feeling, I could die today, life is fragile, doesn't arise all the time. So it is not enough to have correct ascertainment, because we already have that correct understanding, ascertainment. But that feeling, that understanding doesn't come every day, all the time. And therefore, we always feel, I'm not going to die today, tomorrow, next week. And that is the feeling. And so in order to have that feeling, that understanding, that ascertainment to manifest all the time, then we have to do the meditation, contemplations. The meditation, the contemplations. Then we have to do the meditation contemplations. And so when you do the meditation, because sometimes we feel, oh, I understood it. Why should I meditate? Do you get it? I perfectly understand it. Why should I meditate it? Well, we might have perfectly understood it, even with our reflections, with our own investigation, analysis. But that realization, that understanding doesn't come all the time. When it doesn't come all the time, then it doesn't have strong impact in our mind. It doesn't impact so strongly in our mind. And so therefore, that is why we need to meditate until whatever we're meditating on, that understanding, realizations come spontaneously, naturally all the time. You know, whether it's impermanent, whether it's emptiness, whether it's renunciations, whether it's loving kindness, compassion, bodhicitta, whatever we're meditating, whatever we're practicing. So that become all the time. And so that is why we need to meditate. And so that is where it is. So once you have, you know, realize exactly the vital point of three principal experiential path, resort on seeking solitude, generate the power of effort, and quickly accomplish your final goal, my child. So Lama Tsongkhapa, my child, referring to directly to his nephew who requested this advice, instructions for him to, before he would go in the meditation for his, but of course is Lama Tsongkhapa referring to all the followers, disciples, anyone who comes later and interested in this path, this referring with a lot of compassion, kind and caring, you know, just like the mothers, love and compassion for the only her precious child, you know, that's why he's calling child, you know, it's that kind of love and compassion, you know, and so of course, you know, if we can, then, you know, to have a strong meditations, if we can find a solitude, that would be great, because there's less distractions. Less distractions, then your practice meditations, you can focus better and become more stronger. When you're too much distractions, then it becomes more difficult. You know, even you try to practice, there's a lot of distractions. And so, you know, so therefore, if possible, try to find solitude. Solitude is external solitude and internal solitude, you know. External solitude is, you know, not many people, not many noise, not many external condition to distract you. Internal solitude is to have less thoughts, you know, less thoughts and less distraction by too many thoughts, you know. So trying to find, and even we cannot find exact solitude, you know, trying to find certain level of quiet place to contemplate and meditate according to our environment, within our place, you know, within our environment, and a certain level of that. So there is less noise, less distractions when you try to contemplate, meditate, you know, and then generate the power of the effort, you know, and then applying the effort when you try to meditate and practice, you know, and the effort, consistent effort, you know, not up and down, you know. Sometimes we feel very excited and put a lot of effort, and then for many days, weeks, we don't put any effort. And then, you know, slowly we lose our enthusiasm in the practice when there is interruptions, you know, when there is interruptions, then you have to put a lot of effort again. It is same with everything, you know. If we go and listen to the teachings continuously all the time, you know, you don't have to put so much effort. But if you have missed 1 class, 2 class, 3 class, 4 class, even you have intention to go to the class, it will require a lot of effort to force yourself to go and listen again. And that will be same to meditate. You have been meditating every day, you don't have to put so much effort. You just go and do it. But if you miss 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 day, 5 day, you know, even you want to start the meditation, but it will require a lot of effort to again restart, you know. And then also, you know, again, you have to familiarize from the very beginning, and then again, you know, it's like starting from the very beginning, you know, a little bit. And so therefore we have to put effort more consistent in whatever practice meditation we do, you know. And through that kind of effort, as we meditate on both renunciation, bodhicitta, and the right view, through meditation on that, then quickly accomplish your final goal. Our final goal is to achieve enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. So that is the final goal. That is the final goal. The ultimate goal is to achieve that fully enlightened state, not for ourselves, but for the benefit of all sentient beings. So that is the, yeah, so with that, maybe we conclude. And again, from next week for 4 weeks, I think I have 4 more weeks to teach. So then, I'm planning to go to Nepal for 3 months. And so we'll have 4 more weeks with me, and we just kind of Eloise, and we just kind of decided, or at least Eloise requested to teach on the 18 root vows of the Bodhisattvas, the Bodhisattva root vows, okay? Of course, maybe we might not have time to go through all the secondary vows, but at least we can go through the main root vows. And many of you have taken the vows, Bodhisattva vows. Anyone who have taken any initiation, you have already received the Bodhisattva vows, because without the Bodhisattva vows, one cannot receive the initiation. And sometimes people are not even aware of that. When the Lama is giving initiation, actually they are leading through the ceremony, and part of the ceremony is the Bodhisattva vows, because sometimes some Lama give more explanation and clarifications, but sometimes some Lama will just kind of go through the ceremony itself. But if you follow closely, then the Bodhisattva vows are part of that ceremony to receive the initiations. And so that is one thing, and so those who have already taken the Bodhisattva vows, then definitely it will be good to know what they are, and so that we can be able to keep them better, and what to do when we break, if we pollute them, what to do, and so that we create less negative karma, and if we keep them, then we create more positive karmas and virtues, maybe, so how to do that. And also, if there are some others who might be interested or not interested to take Bodhisattva vows in the future, also it will be good to have that information. So we'll be going through that, okay? And so let me see. Yeah, my name from grandfather Dao Punzo, Da Punzo, we call Da Punzo, but yeah. Okay, so I think that is all. Then we will do the dedications.
Geshe-la,
Yes.
I just wanted to say, Raquel, my granddaughter, she just called me and told me that her grandfather, her father's father, just passed away today.
Oh,
And so if we could remember him, his name is Virgil Gomez. He died of a heart attack.
oh, sorry to hear that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah.
On our list for people with obstacles, we just have Jenny L. For illness, we have Jane Braswell, Tatty, Stella's daughter and son-in-law, and Michael Malone, and people who have recently died: Steve Citrullo, Cranberry the cat, Michael Kirst, and Virgil Gomez.
Due to the merits of these virtuous actions, may I quickly attain the state of Guru Buddha and lead all living beings without exception into the enlightened state. May the supreme jewel Bodhicitta that is not arisen, arise and grow, and may that which is arisen not diminish but increase more and more. Jigden kamde pende malu ba kangle chungwe sambe yishi no katin chungme denzen jaso la sawa deso tuje lundu sho. Tuzu zhang xin zhang gun gawe ten zin zhang bewe kunzo do bolo ze cho song gu we le ma tu du a da so du je gun du sha den shu. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, and have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you, Geshe-la.
Thank you.
So
Geshe-la, for
much,
teaching.
Geshe-la.
Thank you for the teachings. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Much, Geshe-la.
Hard. Thank you so much trying to get through our hard heads.
Is your heart hard?
Hard
Maybe
head.
I can come with a hammer.
Yeah.
That might help. That might be good.
All right.
Okay.
Right.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.